It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, we're going to take a little bit of a look at the one 40-foot boxcar that I did not buy at Amherst. Or I guess I should say it differently. I did not buy one 40-foot boxcar at Amherst. And yes, Otter Creek has noticed. I changed up the lighting in here a little bit, and this lighting reminds me of like... I don't know, probably a sunset that Dennis would see out in his part of the world. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like it. So that's really all that matters. After we go through some of the stuff that I got at Amherst, talk a little bit about the train show. I do have a little bit of work back over here. I've got some people coming over tomorrow morning, all the way from Australia. And Wigwag, I will not read your comment. So some people coming over from Australia tomorrow morning, so I got to get the layout ready for that. And then I have some more people coming over on Friday night, so I have to get ready for that as well. So real quick, my general overview of Amherst. If you don't know, Amherst is a railroad model, is a railroad hobby. I forget what they call it. They call it the Amherst Railroad Hobby Show or something of that nature. There's no model in it. It's just Railroad Hobby Show. People come from all over the world, people from Australia, people from Minnesota. Dwight, I won't read your comment either, don't worry. It is, as far as I know, probably the biggest multi-scale train show around. And it was one of those things that, I'm just lucky that I'm close, and I just jump on the Amtrak. I just, head right over there, and it's kind of almost a local show to me, except I do stay over for the weekend. But it's like a 2.5, 3 hour drive, so it's not too bad. But the good thing is that you can actually talk to a lot of the people that you've only met through the internet, right? I mean, there's all sorts of vendors come, manufacturers come, people like Ron from New Haven Rails come with their club and set their layout up, and it's just a really good expression of the hobby, just seeing kind of everyone get together. This year, Lynn, that is very funny, Lynn. That is very funny. This year I did Amherst a little differently. So the first year I went to Amherst, I went with my father-in-law. We actually drove up for the day, and I thought, like 2-3 hours, we'll get through this, not a big deal. We'll drive up, drive home. Didn't understand what I was getting into. But then as I started going back, I started videoing, and last year I ended up doing 5 live streams. And it's very interesting when you look at a train show through a camera and through wanting to share it with as many people as possible. You see things differently, I guess is the way to say. So this year I didn't do any filming. I did a very tiny bit, but no live streams. And I just went and saw the show for myself. And it's really interesting watching some of the videos that people are posting from the show, because I realize how different the perspective is. So I went looking for N scale stuff. So I saw a lot of the N scale stuff. I saw the layouts that I wanted to see. But like Nick from Nick's Crossings or D.A. Griffin, like they went for the O scale stuff. So if you watch their videos from the show, it's all O scale stuff. Dennis N scale Train Boy went, and he's also an N scaler, so he filmed it from his perspective, and it's really kind of neat to see different people's views on the same show. I do think next year I'm going to go back and I am going to do some live streams. I actually enjoy the live streams. I enjoy the work that it is, and I did kind of miss that a little bit, so I'm definitely going to go back and do it, but I'm going to try and find a balance. So I went from 2 years ago doing 5 live streams, virtually live streaming anytime I wasn't eating or, recharging things. This year I went completely the other way and really didn't see the show at all through a camera. One of the biggest downsides of not looking at the show through a camera is that, am I blurry? Is it just Dwight that's blurry, or am I really blurry? So one of the disadvantages of doing the show not through a camera is that you start seeing things that you want to buy. Now, I did go to buy something. Like there were, I guess, 2 main things that I wanted to buy, and then there were a couple other potential things. So, I guess from the thumbnail, one of the things that I bought, I did not buy one 40-foot train. I have a soft look. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I don't know. 28 cars? I don't think, did I buy 28? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I only got 23. I didn't get 28. Come on now. Let's turn this light on up here. Let's turn on the overhead camera, and we'll start taking a look at some of the various things that I got at the show. So one of the things that I went to get was this item right here. I have 2 proto throttles in my collection, and one of the things that I'm looking to potentially do is switch command stations. And the command station that I have an opportunity to try out wouldn't connect with the proto throttle adapter that I have. If you don't know, the way the proto throttle works is, I believe it's a Zigbee wireless connection. I think that's what it is. And so what the adapter does is it converts the Zigbee signal, it's a wireless signal, into something that your command station can receive. So this works through Y-throttle. The other one that I have works with NCE and ExpressNet. So I went to get this. This was what I went to get. There was a lot of interesting things at the ISE table. I did get out of there pretty much unscathed, but I don't need this right away, but I got this so that I didn't have to spend the money on the shipping. So, I don't quite have the proto throttles set up yet. I need to get them set up. It's on the list. It's on the list. The next thing I want to talk about, this was an unscheduled purchase. This is something that I wasn't planning on purchasing, but one of the things that I do is collect like breast cancer awareness cars. And this is from Otter Valley, OVR Trains. And I found it on the website because I couldn't remember all the information, but it is on their website. So right here, in March of 2013, our founder, Cheryl Ann is Lauren's mom, I believe it is. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then in May of 2017, she actually passed away from breast cancer. And Lauren's daughter, they named Izzy. So this car, they call it the Izzy car. It's labeled Izzy on it, and it's got the breast cancer pink ribbon on the side. But they have this in N scale, and they have this in HO scale. This is one of their trash gondolas. This was, I believe, the first car OVR put out in HO scale, and then they put it out in N scale as well. So I wanted to support Lauren, and this also this was a, it's not something I'm going to run on the layout all the time. It's, it is something, though, that I will run on special occasions, and something that'll go along with my other breast cancer cars along the way. So yeah, shoot, should have had you get one of them Izzy cars. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, I'm sure you can buy them directly through Lauren. So these are the NSC 6400 NSCs, or 6000, I guess, gondolas, the trash gondolas. So look up IZYR 2017 on their website, and you should be able to find this car. So this was the second item that I bought during the show, and it kind of broke the ice, and it kind of started my river of impulse buys, I guess you can say. The other thing that I wanted to get was actually something that I couldn't find. I've shown this view before, I think, but right here I have this urban retaining wall. And I wanted to make this a little bit longer. And I also want to add some urban retaining wall pieces over there as well, right here, down here, and then this will be like rock face up here. And I was hoping that I could just get it at the show, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find anybody that was selling N-scale Walthers kits. There were 2 vendors that sold HO scale kits. Couldn't find anything that anybody selling N-scale stuff. So yeah, I didn't buy any N-scale circus cars, but the only video that I took was of a N-track module, actually 2 N-track modules, and I'm going to edit that together and I'm going to tell that story. But that, long story short, part of why I am into circus N-scale model railroading is because of Amherst, and because of seeing this this N-track module at the show. So I have that on video. I'll edit that together when I get a chance, and whatever. Yeah, if for those of you that don't know, John, I actually have an interview with John, one of the videos on my channel. So John and I always chat. It's always good to see him there. But yeah, every year I check in with John and see how he is doing. So next thing, I'm going to go a little bit out of order, and I am going to show, I think this was the last thing I bought, if not the last thing, probably close to the last thing I bought. And the reason I'm actually going to show this next is it kind of ties into the breast cancer stuff. There is one breast cancer car that I have not been able to find, and that is the Eastern Seaboard breast cancer car. Apparently it's very difficult to get. They didn't make a lot of them. They sold out really quickly. I haven't actually ever seen one in person. I went to Amherst Hobby. They are always having huge discounts on their table. I think these were 40% off, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So when things are 40% off, it's hard not to get anything. So these were 2 of the items that I got from them. These are my first Eastern Seaboard models. I don't believe I have any of these. So how great that my first ones are 40-foot box cars that I don't need. Thomas says Amherst Hobby took a lot of my money, almost as much as the bartender. Yeah, there are a couple of vendors that I try and hit up. One's Displays, the other one is Tom's Trains. A new one that I found this year was actually by the T-Track modules, another N-scale seller, had a lot of good N-scale stuff. And then there's a guy in Stroh that usually has stuff that I end up buying, but this year I was able to get out of their booth without buying anything. So I did give out the car cards. I don't have any right in front of me right now, but yes, I did give out the car cards. They were well received. People did seem to appreciate the idea. That said, I actually haven't had a lot of people sign up, so I'm still looking for. I'm typing a URL. Basically, it's wanted. See if I spelled it right. .rtsl.nyc. If you go here, you can sign up to operate on my layout. Basically, I have an email list, and anytime I'm going to have an op session, I will send out an email inviting people to the session. Obviously, if you're not in the area, might not make sense to sign up. But if you are in the area and you like operations, it might be something that you're interested in checking it out. So yeah, so there's an email list there. Check it out. And yeah, is that what they were called? Southeast Hobbies back by the T-Track? That sounds right. It sounds like it could be. They were right behind the T-Track. When you guys, Dennis, when you were meeting with Elliot, I was over against the wall buying stuff. That's one of them as well. Thomas, it's interesting. You say like sorry to miss them. You know, John Chester was at the show. Mike Wyman was at the show. All these people were at the show that I didn't see at all, and I actually think I saw more people last year when I was filming. But yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah, they took a bunch of my money. They sure did. Oh, really? They work for Scale Trains, but they live in Illinois? Anyway. So these are first two cars I got. I have to pause for 1 second. Let's just go back. Before the show started, I was like scrambling because I hadn't done something in a long time that I wanted to get back into my streams. And that was thanking people that are either YouTube members or support through Patreon. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get it to work. I was having some problems, and like a minute before I started the stream, I got it working. So I was very happy that this worked. This is the list as of 129. I guess it doesn't, I should have put something on here that said thank you. I'll figure that out eventually. But these are the people that are supporting the channel, so I wanted to just go back and acknowledge that I actually did something right, which is rare, but you know, it happens sometimes. I did not miss Ed though. I did see Ed with 27,000 people there. Yeah, it was apparently a record turnout. They had like 14,000 something on Saturday, and then do the math to figure out what was on Sunday. So, yeah. So this is a BAR car, Bangor and a Rootstock. I have a bunch of these cars, but nothing like this one. So I had to get it. I'm still trying to find cars that are unique looking. Yeah, okay. So people are calling it out. A couple of them notice it. There are people that support the channel on both YouTube and on Patreon. So if people support me in multiple places, when you put the list together, people show up twice. So if you want your name listed twice, you can, you know, you can join in both places. Like that's, you know, like, I'm not gonna. So this Penn Central, I don't believe I have as well. Part of why I wanted this Penn Central car is I'm getting a little clearer on the story for my layout. And what I'm realizing is, like I keep saying, like when New York Central sold the West Side Line, and in my head that happened in 1968. What really happened is that, you know, Penn Central took over, right? The combination of Pennsylvania Railroad and New York Central came to Penn Central. So in clarifying my story, what I think I'm really trying to say on my layout is that Human City Junction Leasing Company bought the West Side Line from New York Central before basically it got taken over by Penn Central. So when things were getting divvied up to, to help sell off some of their debt or whatever, that's what happened is, I was able to buy this, this branch line, well, it's not really a branch line, it's this short line, this terminal railroad, before Penn Central took over. So this Penn Central car then is kind of, it's a car that is a, outside railroad that I, bought this area out from under them, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, exactly, right? So as Dennis says, this would be some boxcar that was just painted as well. So the reporting mark is HCJX. I have decals and stuff. If you go to my website, you can actually see the HCJX cars and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so HCJX is Human City Junction, the X meaning it's a leasing company, and RT, Riverside Transfer, is the subsidiary of HCJX that actually operates this this area, right? So that's kind of the story. So I picked these two up. I think both of these just fit well on the layout. So that's yeah. Yeah, Cameron, but nobody would forget to put the X on, just like nobody would use the wrong color green when they're painting things. Do you want me to take a picture of the layout? Sure, that'd be awesome. So I'm gonna move these out of the way. We'll talk about those last. Yeah, we'll talk about those last. We'll come back to this. So the next set of cars are, these are items that I bought from that train shop in Georgia that Dennis and Skilled Train Boy was mentioning, and from Tom's Trains. So this is kind of a mix. I think, what did I get? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars between them. Again, looking for cars that, Southeast Hobbies, thank you. Looking for cars that I don't have, which isn't always easy, and I am really hoping, that I don't have one of these, and I haven't checked yet. There are some that I am 99.9% sure I don't have, and then there are a couple of others that I'm not as sure. So we'll kind of step through these. These are all 40-foot boxcars. So as I said, I did not buy one boxcar. I bought a couple. Over the next week or so, I need to take these as well as the ones up on the shelf, as well as some of these other ones, and put metal wheels on them, get them weighed, get car cards made up for them so that we can get them running around. I don't carry the spreadsheet. I could have accessed it on my phone. I just didn't want to. Cameron wants us all to be proud of him, so Otter Creek Dennis and I, we're both kind of spreadsheet nerds. Like, Dennis hasn't showed his spreadsheets in a long time on his channel, but if you go back into some of his earlier videos and see his spreadsheets, he's got some spreadsheets, and I do as well. But no, I didn't carry them with me. So this one I'm pretty sure I don't have. This is CNEI. I liked the look of it. It's got this little like dotted line across it with little braces here. It says Chicago, St. Louis, Southwestern. So it's, it's a unique car. It's something that's on the railroad that won't be mistaken for something else. So Don says, it says St. Louis, so he approves. So I know I don't have this one. I picked this up because it'll be easily recognizable, and you know, Chicago's close enough to New York that that it's there. John, I do actually have all the pictures I've taken on my phone because they're there. I just don't have them in a spreadsheet. But yeah, this is 40 foot. These are all 40 footers. I didn't get anything that wasn't. They're all 40-foot boxcars or reefers, stuff like that. So that's one of them. Now, these cars are a little bit harder for me to know whether I actually have these or not. When I start picking up these, you know, kind of generic brownish cars, I start kind of reevaluating my I was wondering if Steve was gonna pick that up or not. Yeah, so this would be a car that Steve Childers might I might have to ship some stuff off to him in that car. So the brown cars, I'm not exactly sure. This is an automobile car, though. It is a double-sheathed wood boxcar, an automobile car. If we look closely at the doors, which is kind of an interesting feature of this, the one door, this door on this side, is bigger than this door on this side. I think these open. Yeah, these do actually open. So it just gives you, you know, it's a double door, but the doors are two different sizes. I'm 99.8% sure I don't have this one. I don't believe I've got, yeah, I'm 99% sure I don't have this one. So a lot of, oh, Ed, these are my children. Yeah. You can park that at a loading dock. Do the ends have doors? No. The ends of these don't have doors. So this would have been, I guess, an automobile parts car, not, this is not actually one of the old automobile box cars that had the ends that opened and they would drive in from the ends. This is probably an automobile parts car. Is my guess. I'm completely making stuff up. Let's do this one. So again, another, you know, brown car, but this one is the AD&N, and which is the Ashley Drew and Northern. If you go back and you look at, you can see, sorry, the doors, these two doors are the same size as opposed to the other one. Ashley Drew and Northern came up a lot in amongst the circles of the Sidetrack Sunday crew. And I don't remember whether Ashley Drew and Northern was John Schuylkill River Valley or whether it was Rick the Tree that really liked Ashley Drew and Northern, or was it Jason? I know one of them did. I can't remember which one, but this is my first and only Ashley Drew and Northern car. So again, 99% sure I don't have this one, but you know, you see Ashley Drew and Northern, and I had to grab it. So this one might be one that I have. All right, both Jason and Rick are Ashley Drew and Northern. All right, there you go. Double door wood service. Yeah, no, that is true. If I got into weathering, I can make them definitely look a little different. So this one I'm like 92% sure that I don't have. Anytime I see a car that is some sort of like express service car. So this one says time saver service on it from the B&O. I like any of the, you know, like the pacemaker was an express service. Merchant's Dispatch, there's merchandise service, there's the blue, what is the cotton belt one called? I'm looking for a car. Whatever the cotton belt one is called, the blue something or whatever. So anytime I see one of these express cars, I don't know why, but it just sort of, I'm kind of I'm kind of drawn to it, I guess. Are the trucks on the B&O different? I don't know the answer to that. Blue streak. Thank you. There you go. No, this doesn't mean the time saver layout is coming back. It's just that this is, you know, an express service car. So I'm pretty sure, I believe I have another time saver service car. I'm 95-ish% sure that I don't have this one. But yeah. So that's that story. So let's get into these two, and we can talk about these. These are two of them that I might have one of these. I recently kind of redid everything, so I touched every car before I went up to Amherst. So I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what I have. And maybe it's just that these are such popular cars that, like, I see them everywhere. So I'm pretty sure I don't have these, but if there are any of them that I do have, it's likely going to be one of these. So Dennis is volunteering that if I do have them, I'll he will take them off from me. But again, like, you know, with the big NH on the sides, different colors, they're very easy to identify, which, you know, in N scale, I'm always looking for things that are easy to identify just because of the amount of car movement on the layout. This is another one that I think I have a similar car, but not one that is weathered. So this is one of the pre-weathered Microtrains cars. And yes, I have significant problems with things falling out of my hands during operating sessions. It's kind of cool that the 40-foot cars have the reporting marks on the right side of the cars. Are they supposed to be on the left side of the cars, not the right side of the cars? I don't know. Yeah, and it's true. If I do have duplicates, like, the layout, there's enough cars on the layout that, you know, I know a bunch of people that run duplicates on their layouts. I know some people that will have a coal drag of 40 cars, and half of them are, half of them are the same number just because, that's all you can get. Most now are on the left side. The New Haven cars are on the opposite. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that guy drops cars. I drop cars too. I drop cars. So this one's got a little graffiti on it, which, not a huge fan of this little bit of graffiti, but it was a Southern car. Southern serves the South. I just kind of liked I liked the look of the car, so I don't know, impulse buy, I guess you could say, which, I went with the intention of, I was going to buy 40-foot boxcars. Who am I kidding? So the rest of these, oh no, I guess some of these are not. I forgot that I had some more that were kind of standard looking. So let's move some of these around. So this is a Seaboard car. Nisi J used to be a member of the Sidetrack Sunday crew, is a huge fan of the Seaboard, the route of courteous service. Yeah, Paul, I'm going through. Oh, no, those are over here. I'll get to those in a second. Now I know what you're saying. So I got this on the layout. Again, 99% sure I don't have this. I do have some other Seaboard cars, but it's just it's a very identifiable car. Here's another brown one. This one is a Tennessee Central car. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't have any other Tennessee Central stuff. I don't know why I really got this one, except that it was $12. So I was kind of like, hey, you know, $12. It's a neat little logo for Tennessee Central, and since it's the only Tennessee Central on the layout, should be pretty easy to find. So that's another one there. This one, MERX. What is this one? National Packing Company. I got this one, and I don't know if it's actually true or not. I'm totally making this next statement up. But when I saw this car, and I kind of saw the map that is over here on the side, what it kind of reminded me of was LCL service. And I think that I'm kind of calling most of my layout an LCL layout, meaning that, you know, any car can kind of go anywhere because it's all LCL service. So when I saw the map on the side of this car, I was kind of like, oh, this would be probably an LCL service car, right? Maybe? I don't know. But that's the story I'm going with, so that's why I got it. I'm sure I don't have this one, so I think I made out fine getting this one. This I believe was another one at Tom's. I bought, I think, 9 cars off of them, and they just said, okay, 12 bucks for each car. Is this a reefer? Yes, this is a reefer. Is it a reefer Merchandise Express? Yes, it says National Packing Company. MERX, is that Merchandise Express? I don't know. I'll have to look up National Packing Company and see if I can find something on them, but in my world, I'm saying it's LCL. I don't know if it's true or not, but, you know, I'm lying and making everything up anyway. This is a Port Huron and Detroit car. Don't really know why I got this, except that it was very unique. St. Clair Blue Water route. I don't have any Port Huron cars, but I do have, actually, you know what I do have? I think, what is that? That's PHRR. That might be, oh, that's Port Harbor. So I've got a Port Harbor locomotive, which is different than Port Huron, which is what this is. But yeah, again, kind of unique, but super nice scheme. There you go. PhD must be an educated car. It is. It is a doctor of rolling. This guy is the Redwood Empire route overnight car. So again, had to pick this one up because it's an overnight service. The number's 1952. I don't know if it's really from 1952, but Northwestern Pacific. This is definitely one of the older Microtrains cars. You can tell by the box liner or whatever you want to call it on it. What I think's funny is there's a Microtrains price on here for $19.90. They had this listed for $22, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so this is, I just like this. I like it. Looks like it's moving fast, and it's an overnight service car. So like I was saying earlier about express service cars, I kind of have a little bit of a thing for them, and that's this one. Now, I don't really know why, but of all the cars I picked up this weekend, this was the one that I kind of liked the most. It's a weathered Erie Lackawanna car that, you can see it was one color, and then they painted it over with the new color, but they patched out the old reporting marks. So I thought that was kind of cool. I like the paint scheme. I like the Erie Lackawanna stuff. Oh, here we go. So apparently people looked it up. The Merck's cars were not for LCL, but hauled beef and meat products. Very interesting. The EL box would be on the passenger trains, Phoebe Snow. Very interesting. I'm not running passenger, on this layout, so unfortunately that's not going to happen, but yeah. Oh, it's a patched car formerly Lackawanna before they became Erie Lackawanna. Yeah, head-end service, or at least formerly so. Oh, very cool. Very cool, very cool. Route of the Redwoods. I have a complete train of those. It's only in Northern California. Well, now it is on my layout as well. But yeah, this is, I don't know. I think MTL did a good job with this one. They've been doing these sort of weathered series cars. This is a car that would have been built in the 1950s. It says the era 1970s, so it's even the right era for my layout. But so this is, as far as the paint schemes and stuff, this is probably one of my favorite finds of the weekend, and I know I don't have this one. So Paul mentioned when he got in here, he asked if I open the cars that he saw me buy, and I think he's talking about this next set of cars. As some people know, I have decided that I would like to get some of my Human City Junction boxcars, and I'm looking for, there's one, I know there's one out on the layout. I don't remember where it is on the layout, but I know it's on the layout because I just put it on the layout. Nope, that wasn't it. Anyway, so I brought the N scale and the HO scale Human City Junction cars. The N scale was made by John 2618. The HO scale one was made by Adam Cruz. And my intention was that if I went to the show and showed some people these cars, that it might provide a tiny bit more inspiration to actually get them made. Like maybe if people saw them and touched them and handled them, I might be able to get them made. So I showed them to Ross over at Atlas, and he was actually emailing me today. He went and he found an order of cars. So there is very likely going to be Atlas N scale Human City Junction cars in the not too distant future. They don't have anything HO scale at the moment, but I'm working on that as well. But I showed it to Atlas. I showed it to Eric Smith at Microtrains. And I showed it to a couple other people, but I also showed it to Chris at Home Shops. And I was talking to Chris at Home Shops because the run that he did in N scale would have been a perfect run for me to get in on for my car, but for various reasons it just didn't work out. So yes, I'm kind of frustrated about it, but for whatever reasons, it didn't work out. So yeah, so I am taking the. Did they really? Huh. Interesting. So maybe he does have some more interest. But yeah, so I'm taking a multiple leg approach, I guess. Basically, I'm reaching out to everybody and anybody that I can get a hold of, trying to make it work. I mean, there's likely going to be, oh, that was me. That was Dennis. Yeah, Dennis went over to his table with the Human City Junction car and his two V&O cars and took a picture of them while he was over there. So Cameron, exactly. I am throwing very, very pointy darts. During my conversation with Chris, though, over at Home Shops, he told me the N scale stuff actually isn't selling them, isn't selling very well. I have my theories as to why that is. We don't need to get into that right this minute, but they're all 40-foot box cars. I mean, it's just like, they are what I would run on my railroad. And the reason I hadn't bought them previously is that I don't really know these railroads. I mean, I know the V&O, obviously, but I don't really know these other ones. They're not, ones that I'm very familiar with. So I wasn't going to get them. But, I was at the show, I talked to Chris, I wanted to support what Chris is up to. These will fit my layout, so I ended up buying all 7 of them. Here's the 7th there. These are all of the ones that he made. He made, basically two V&O cars, one that says Virginia and Ohio, one that was Miami Valley, Railroad, which he told me the whole story of it. I think Miami Valley Railroad, I don't remember the whole story, but he told me the whole story. Virginia Midland is another one. So these are all Alan McClellan. I think that's who it is. All his cars. I should learn the history of this stuff. But yeah, so those are 3 of them, and then the other 4 are, this one's Cat Mountain Delta Lines, St. Louis Gateway Route, and OS, which is, I forget, Ohio Southern. So I got all 7 of them. Definitely gonna get them weighted, put the metal wheels on them. I don't think, do they come with metal wheels? There's a chance these come with metal wheels, so I probably don't have to put metal wheels on them. But we'll get these on the layout as well, and get these running, because they will fit nicely on the layout, and they'll make a lot of sense. Yeah, so I don't want to get too down this rabbit hole, but what I told Chris was, what most interests me is not, a layout from, oh, okay, they are plastic. All right. What interests me aren't really like the stuff that you saw from the 70s in the magazines. What interests me more are cars where I could trade with other railroads, right? So like, Split Rock Railroad, or Dennis's Railroad, that I'm not gonna, well, there's Dennis Otter Creek, and then there's Dennis, whose other one, or Paul's with Finger Lakes. Like, I want to be able to exchange cars with other existing layouts and other people that, like, I kind of connect with. So that would, I guess, ultimately be my goal, my, what my preference, I guess you can say. Yeah, and I think we do need a spreadsheet. I think it would be awesome, if we did. And yeah, so I'm working on, I want to do an N scale, and I want to do an HO scale. It was good to talk to Chris. It was good to show him what I had. I only have the one N scale HCJX pacemaker scheme car. So I don't have any more at the moment. So yeah, but it was good. Again, like, the show was good because I was able to actually talk to people with the car in my hand. Steve, yes, I did. Email me or something. Maybe when I'm ready to get into operate. Yeah, no, exactly. So I thought about with Atlas, like if I could do an O scale run of them, I thought that would have been, you know, kind of neat, but I don't know. The Split Rock asked earlier, basically I would buy them. I would buy them. Iron Planet Hobbies, who's a supporter of this channel, is would basically retail them for me. So I would buy them from Atlas wholesale. They would go to Iron Planet Hobbies. He would put them up on his website, and he would, you know, sell them through his store. So basically, everybody could get the best price possible. So somebody just popped up in the chat that I want to give a little shout out to. He just made an interesting video. As you guys know that have been following this channel for a while, this is Riverside Transfer 2.0. Riverside Transfer 1.0 was torn down because it just kind of stopped working. And Mike actually just recently put a video out where he's talking about his model railroading journey and why he took down his, I want to say current layout, but it's not current anymore because he took it down. Why he took down his layout, and I just think it was an interesting conversation to be in, and I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about YouTube and about seeing people at Amherst, and you know, is it you get to talk about these things that sometimes you might not talk about. I mean, you see some of these people that have these huge, massive layouts, and you think they know exactly what they're doing, and then you hear a little bit of their story and realize that they're just figuring it out just like the rest of us are. So one thing I want to do before we get out of here, and you know, I don't know, this is probably going to be too interesting to anybody, but it's interesting to me, and I've had it turned on and sitting over here, so let's see if it's going to work. So this little setup that I have over here, let's turn this on, maybe it'll give, this little setup I have over here, I have been hand cutting everything out, and everybody keeps telling me that I should get a paper cutter, and I just haven't done it. Every waybill that I've cut out, every car card that I cut out, this is basically how I've cut them out. And because I have some people coming over tomorrow to operate on the layout, and I've made some changes, these are the train schedules for the layout. So this is what, this is the one for the short line engineer. I've got one for the other roles, the other jobs on the layout. But basically I just go through and just, you know, this is a great little ruler. It's got a little bit of foam on the back, but I am cutting these out, and the reason I'm cutting them out is to make them smaller so they're a little bit easier to handle. These are actually bigger than any of the ones I've made previously, and I made them bigger just to make them a little bit easier to read. So the short line engineer, who is basically the guy that pulls things around the layout from the different yards and does some of the switch work and stuff like that, can either use this list, or I've also got train cards as well. So like if the yard builds a train, they can put the card in front of it and then know what to do, or, you know, just it's sequential. So it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, it shows on the bottom. That lines up with this. Here's like 1, 2, 3. 4 is not on here because, as you see, 4 is a Riverside to Riverside job, so the short line engineer won't have anything to do with it. But it's just different ways that I have the same information, just to give the operators, you know, different ways of working depending on how they work best. So yeah, I'm pretty much set up for the session tomorrow. I do want to do some track cleaning before the session, which is going to be at 10 a.m. So I've got to either get going on that tonight, or I don't know, make up some time between now and tomorrow morning to find time to do that. But yeah, I don't think, I don't know. I don't think any of the sessions are going to be live streamed. I haven't really gotten to the point yet where I know enough what's going on to focus on multiple things. Eventually, though, I will start live streaming op sessions, just because I think it's interesting to share and interesting to see various people working together to operate a railroad. So yeah, Dennis will be down here Friday, and he thinks he's gonna be able to do two things at once. We'll see how that goes. Until next time, from this city that never sleeps, although we do have a nice sunset going on tonight, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity.